Fuck this movie. Hey guys, this is Frozen Things Tears here, and welcome back to another video. And today, I'm gonna be doing a rant on Peter Pan and Wendy. So Peter Pan and Wendy is the latest addition to the Disney live action remakes collection, and is directed by David Lowery, who is rather a hit or miss director, but I'll talk about him shortly. And stars Alexander Moloney, Everett Anderson, Jude Law, Yara Shahidi, Alan Tudyk, Jim Gaffigan, and yeah, blah blah blah, and some actors I don't even care about. And basically, the plot tells a story of, the retelling of Peter Pan, of the classic Peter Pan story where Wendy doesn't want to grow old and neglects her parents' decision to send her to boarding school. And then suddenly there goes Peter Pan, who sends Wendy off to Neverland, a place where you cannot grow, and they must stop, Captain Hook and his pirates. Yeah, who cares? So yeah, now, I'm not gonna lie when I said that when Peter Pan when he was first announced, I was actually, I didn't really mind. I kind of had the more neutral feelings toward this, because let's be real. I mean, I was like, okay, well, it's a Peter Pan movie, and I love Peter Pan. I actually rewatched some Peter Pan movies leading up to this one. Peter Pan is a huge part of my childhood. The original Peter Pan, I grew up with it, and even Jacob and Neverland Pirate, I still find myself, I'm kind of neutral towards it nowadays. I mean, it's not a show I would watch again, but I still like kind of had the childhood memories of that show, and yeah, so yeah, so I was like thinking, wait, is Spider-Man Winning gonna be a bad movie? I was like, let's see how this could go. I was gonna like go into this with a more open mind, unlike something like The Little Mermaid, where where it was already dead on arrival. I mean, Jude Law, the casting of Jude Law's Captain Hook was like, yeah, it's fine. And I was kind of intrigued by the choice of David Lowery directing this. I mean, David Lowery is a hit-or-miss director. But I think he's kind of an overrated director because all of his movies got passed. But like, not all of his movies are good. I mean, um, I hated a ghost story. I think it is one of the worst A24 movies. It was the worst A24 movie until last year's Man Dethroned it. And and also, but even with a ghost story being one of the most overrated movies I've ever seen, I actually really like Peach Dragon and the Green Knight. Peach Dragon is probably the most underrated Disney live action remake. It doesn't deserve the hate it gets, and I really enjoy the film. I want to really rewatch it again, unless if I have to do a Disney remake marathon. But I actually plan to rewatch some of the Disney live action remakes leading up to The Little Mermaid. Well, I said some of them, not all, because I don't want to keep doing too many marathons of too many movies now. This kind of get it kind of like waste my time. Sometimes like every time I rewatch do a movie marathon leading up to this movie, and there's like so many of them. Sometimes it felt like a chore to go through. Um, but yeah, um, but yeah, and also yes, like what I said, I grew up with Peter Pan. I rewatched the some of the Peter Pan movies leading up to this one. I was gonna wait until I finished rewatching all the Peter Pan movies before this one. I mean, I rewatched the first film, Return to Neverland, Hook, and yeah. So I have yet to rewatch 2003's Peter Pan, which I haven't seen since I was like 5 years old or something. When I watched it in school, and also the 2015 Pan. Ugh, yeah. Now, I was originally going to review the original Peter Pan, like the previous Peter Pan movies. The thing is that I actually don't have a lot to say about those Peter Pan movies. I do not have a lot to say about them, so I decided, you know what, I won't review this. Also, Hawkeye, I would have reviewed, and I would have reviewed Hook, but I just don't have time. But yeah, eventually I will rank the Peter Pan. Sorry guys, I'm outdoor. I won't. I will rank the Peter Pan movies eventually after I rewatch both Peter Pan 2003 and Pan, because so I can complete my Peter Pan rewatch marathon. But yeah. But yeah, so now I've well, finally checked out Peter Pan and Wendy. Yesterday technically, I was gonna rant it yesterday, but I went to prom, so yeah, so yeah, I didn't have time to do it. So yeah, but now that I've seen Peter Pan and Wendy, I gotta tell you all, oh my god, what a catastrophe this movie is. I mean, actually, I already started dreading this movie when I saw that trailer. You already know how much I hate that trailer. That trailer made me so angry. Yeah, you saw me like rant that trailer, and you haven't forgotten. But oh my goodness, this movie is exactly what I thought it was gonna be. Possibly even worse than I remember it being. That this movie is like awful. I hated this movie with every fiber of my being, and I've always hate. And I really did not like these. I do not like these live action remakes. Although it took me a while to realize that these live action remakes are just not doing it for me. It wasn't long ago. Like I was like neutral. I used to be neutral towards live action remakes, but now I admit these remakes suck. And yeah, I don't hate them as much as Harry Thomas does. But yeah, I don't think the remakes are the worst things in the world. There's far worse things than Disney live action remakes. But yeah, um, they do deserve the hate they get. Although I will admit, yes, the Disney hate has gone too far. Like I mean, people would usually like blame like use their hatred towards the remakes to hate even the Disney animated movies, like how people would hate on Frozen 2 just because it came out the same year as The Lion King. And some would say Frozen 2 is worse than the Lion King remake. Wow. And but yeah, and I know the like Mama Love Bunny or whatever that crap her name is. Yeah, defends these live action remakes. Let's say that people who hate live action remakes are toxic. But like here's the thing, she loves live action remakes, but he loves live action remakes, but he hates Frozen 2, which is a little unfair because. I mean, how is Frozen 2 worse than these Disney live action remakes? I mean, I don't really see that. Yeah, I know the critics like gave this movie a pass. They critics didn't really hate this movie, but boy, audience has tore this movie to shreds. It has a 20% audience score right now. And yeah, considering how the Super Mario Bros. Movie got a low Rotten Tomato score, but a really high raving audience score, and Peter Pan when it's a complete opposite, where audience scores and letterbox ratings are more are far more trustworthy nowadays. Yeah, this is why you don't listen to Rotten Tomatoes. That site sucks. And by the way, this is the same site that gave Ant-Man was Quantumania like a 47%. And also they gave Ghosted at 29%. That's the score that the Ghosted. That's the 29% is what Peter Pan and Wendy should have got. I mean, yeah, that the should have got because my God, this movie is a crime against humanity. Yeah, and my God, yeah, this is without a doubt the worst Peter Pan movie I have ever seen. Yeah, it is worse than Pan 2050. It makes Pan look like a masterpiece in comparison. But not only is this the worst Peter Pan movie, I think this is the worst Disney live action remake I have ever seen in my entire life. Period. Yep, the worst Disney live action remake. It is like that bad, and it is Artemis Fowl level bad. And Artemis Fowl is my least favorite Disney movie. I doubt anything can top Artemis Fowl as the worst Disney movie. But yeah, it is but yeah, this is my second worst Disney movie of all time. Yeah, right behind Artemis Fowl. Yeah, I'd rather watch Mulan 2020 than this movie. I'd rather watch The Lion King 2019 than this movie. I'd rather watch Alice in Wonderland 2010 than this movie. I'd rather watch the Maleficent duology League than this movie. And yeah, I'd rather watch yeah. And also, yeah, and yes, I'd even rather watch Pinocchio, the 2022, the Robin Zemeckis Pinocchio, no wait, I'd rather watch Pinocchio, than this film. Yeah, it is that bad, yeah. And yes, people, I think this is, well, I won't say this is the worst Disney Plus movie, but yeah, that's the Ghost Rider file. And yeah, I think, I think remakes are clearly the weakness of Disney. Although I am still a Disney fan, like not all movies from every studios are perfect, but yeah, I'm also not a fan of Disney Plus originals. So having like Disney live action remakes as Disney Plus originals. Oh boy, yeah, yeah. I mean, and yeah, I don't see. But yeah, yes. But yeah, now let's get to all the reasons why I think this movie is a catastrophe. Let's get into all the details. Is there anything good to say about this movie? No. There is not a single positive about this movie. Not a single positive, none at all. Not even a small tiny nitpick. This movie is full of endless negatives. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention as well, this is the worst movie of the year. It's worse than The Amazing Memories. And I can't believe I'm saying that because I mean, I can't believe I'm saying it's worse than The Amazing Maurice because that is probably the most boring movie I've ever seen in my life. But this one, not as boring as The Amazing Maurice, but boy, it is definitely boring. And yes, let's start off with all the negatives. This movie is an absolute snooze fest of a movie. Yeah, my God, I just couldn't really care less. Yeah, this movie is just so boring. And not only is this movie boring, but it's rushed as well. How could you make a movie that's rushed boring? Yeah, this movie is so rushed. Use if in the original Peter Pan, it takes time for Wendy to meet Peter Pan and be able to go to Neverland. Neverland. I mean, well, it happens like within 10 minutes of the movie, but it's only like a 70 minutes, 75 minutes movie, so it makes sense as to why it's quick. But this movie only 10 minutes in an hour and 40 minutes, we already get Peter Pan. Normally remakes would usually have a slower pace than the anime film, just to extend the runtime. But this one, not only does it extend the runtime of Peter Pan, but not only that does it, I mean, not by much, but it rushes it. So you're wondering what's there to do in Neverland. Like what's gonna be new because when you rush a story like that, you know that they're probably gonna do something different. But yeah, and also that's the thing about this movie. I think this movie is very manipulative. That's probably why critics gave this movie a pass. This movie basically says thinks it's different from Peter Pan. There's no Peter Pan story. It thinks it's different, but people with a brain would find out that it's just the same thing as the original Peter Pan. It's the exact same thing. Like it's just this. It's just executed differently to manipulate people into thinking. I mean, if you have a brain, you notice that this movie is completely different. It is not the same. Yeah. It's not the same. Yeah. The visuals look really ugly. I mean, it looks cheap. Yeah, my God. Yeah, this movie look. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, it's a Disney Plus original, but like, come on. It can't. I mean, that's no excuse to make it look this bad because, yeah, I mean, this kind of visuals, it's like Artemis Fowl visuals. Yeah, the Lost of Neverland, it looks so dull, which is all green and no other color. Yeah, it looks so lifeless and dull and empty. Like, and yeah, and even the pixie dust flying scenes, they look fake. I mean, plus, where's the glow in Tinkerbell's character? Yeah, did they forget to CGI that? Yeah, and also when it comes to the scenes with the darkness in it, did they forget to put lighting? Because I couldn't even see a single thing that was going on. In fact, yeah, this most of the time this movie made me lose tension, like specifically in the middle. I kind of like just couldn't care less. Yeah, in the middle of a movie, I was actually watching Animat's Walt Disney World vlog video, which by the way, that's my favorite Animat video in my opinion. But yeah, yeah, I mean, I actually don't really have a lot to say about this one because I just didn't care. But yeah, this movie made me really angry. Yeah, this movie made me just so mad at. I mean, I have no idea why this movie even exists. Yeah. But yeah. The action scenes are really bad. Yeah, like some of the worst action I've ever seen. And if you think that Mulan or Artemis Fowl has the worst editing ever put in film, oh boy, you haven't seen nothing yet until you see Peter Pan and Wendy's edited, because I think this has the worst editing I have ever seen in a film. Period. Yeah, I mean in the final battle, there's a scene where the camera just the camera just focus on Peter Pan and then just immediately shifts to Hulk with the whole swipe effect like yeah, I was like, wow, like that is a cheap editing right there. Yeah, this movie feels so fan made, but even a fan made movie is better than this. Even even that school project movie that I made, the was far better shot than this movie, and that says something. And yeah, also the score is ridiculous. Like it doesn't even fit the score doesn't even fit the action scenes. It's just ridiculous. But the thing that they butchered up the most in this movie are the actors and the characters. Oh boy, let's start with the actors. None of them fit the characters that they play. Yeah, and like I no, I'm not gonna like blame racism for this. I'm not gonna say, oh, why did they make this black? Why did they make this guy black? But yeah, but even on its own, their acting is still bad. Yeah, I think the one who clearly gave the worst performance, Alexander Moloney as Peter Pan. Yeah, he gave the worst performance. Like his facial expression is so bored, and yeah, his facial expression is so bored and so like and yeah, his acting is ridiculous. And by the way, yeah, I'll talk about Peter Pan's character later on because oh boy, I got things to say about this character. Ever Anderson is probably the most tolerable thing about this movie. I mean, she has talent, I guess. She could probably be in a bear movie someday, but her performance in this movie is so her performance in this movie is so she has a straight she has only has one facial expression. Like they only record it seems obvious that they only recorded her lines in one in like just one shooting, and they didn't even try multiple shots. They just did it in one take. No, I mean they didn't even try multiple takes. They only tried one take that I could tell. Yeah, and by the way, yes, at least Ever Anderson was actually in the Ever Anderson actually played a young Natasha in Black Widow. She was a way better in that movie than a second in Peter Pan, Wendy. And yeah, I'll talk about their characters later. Yeah, Liara Shahadi as Tinkerbell. Oh yeah, not that she's black, but she's not Tinkerbell. Yeah, she's ridiculous. Yeah, as Tinkerbell. Yeah. Yeah, but I only want to say she's black. I'm not gonna be racist. I'm not gonna be that guy. But the one with the actor with the most wasted potential is Jude Law as Captain Hook. I actually thought that Jude Law would be a decent Hook, but no, they literally just destroyed his performance in this. This is his worst performance ever. This is a Jude Law's worst performance period. And come on, Jude Law's a good actor. I mean, he was probably the best actor of the cast. I mean, career wise, I mean, I loved him in Rise of the Guardians, in Hugo, in yeah. I mean, and even Dumbledore in Fantastic Beasts. I think Jude Law is probably my favorite Dumbledore actor. But here, no, I mean he is not Captain Hook. But he doesn't even look like Jude Law. The only time when I actually see Jude Law is when he ties his hair. But yeah, I mean he doesn't even look like Jude Law. It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, but my God, but if there's anything worse than the actors, than the casting choices, which is by the way one of the worst casting choices ever put in a film, it has to be the characters themselves. Like every single character, they're all just butchered up. Yeah, I mean we're doing this start with this. Yeah, Tiger Lily is awful. But one of the most horrible things about this movie, but yeah, I just. I don't like I really don't like Tiger Lily. Like I mean, also the actress is terrible. The character is harmless, but no, that's no credit because usually I don't forgive a harmless BS. Screw that. Also like I hate the boys as well. Like literally, all Michael cares about is his teddy bear. That's it. That's literally his character's movie. He only cares about his teddy bear, and he doesn't care about anything else other than that stupid teddy bear. Also, let's talk about Smee. Yeah, he's not Smee. I mean, like Smee's supposed to be short, but like, yeah, and also yes. By the way, the makeup and hairstyling, probably the worst makeup and hairstyling I've ever seen in a film. Yeah, the makeup is just ridiculous. Wendy is apparently the main character. This movie's about Wendy. Now, personally, I don't really have a problem with the female character being the I'm taking over the thing on the spot. Like when it's supposed to be about the male character. I mean they did it in Mandalorian season 3 recently where Bo-Katan was the main character and Mandalorian was the secondary main character. But like, I don't mind that because there are times when male characters would overthrow a movie with a female lead, and usually people are fine with it. I wonder why. But yeah, Wendy is yeah Wendy is so annoying. She's so mean spirited. She's so mean spirited. I mean, such a waste of a talent because. I mean, Ever Addison was amazing as young Natasha in Black Widow, but here, my God, yeah. I mean, she would have been good if only her character is really better, but it's really hard for me to recognize her talent because her character is so mean spirited. Like there's a scene where like she literally slaps up Peter Pan. Like Wendy would not do that yet. That feels so out of character for Wendy. Like I would see Wendy like slapping Peter Pan like that. But Peter Pan and Hulk are the two worst characters. Yeah, I mean they're like Peter Pan's probably the most bush up character, and Hulk is also right up there. I mean, the problem with Hulk in this movie is that they made him such a sympathetic character. Like Hulk is supposed to be a straight up villain without having any sympathy. He's supposed to be a straight up villain who just hates Lost Boys and who just hates kids and the kids hate pirates. Yeah, that's it. You don't need to give a BS forced in motivation about why Hulk is doing this, but this one, they made Hulk a sympathetic villain. Like no, I mean saying that he's all doing this for his wife and children, something like that. Like and something like that. Blah blah blah. But yeah, he tries to make up audiences feel bad for him. But how can you if you know Hulk so well? And yeah, by the way, yeah, they probably like took over this trope. They took this trope from Home Sweet Home Alone, where they made the villains so sympathetic. It kind of ruins the whole purpose of villains. And Peter Pan is himself is the worst thing about this film. I hate him so much. Like he every single time he's on screen, he makes me angry after. And also like what they there are some things that they do with him that is just so stupid. Like there's a scene where Peter Pan dies, like Hulk kills him, but then suddenly we got Tiger Lily to revive Peter Pan, and then Peter Pan just comes into the final battle. Like also the whole thing about your main characters dying until the final battle, that's literally a ripoff of Black Panther and Black Adam. Yeah, I know where the hero dies, and then you got the supporting characters trying to start the fight, but then the hero comes back to life and saves the day. Yeah, but actually Peter Pan is also weak because Wendy is the one who defeated Hulk like that. But probably the worst thing about this film, the dumbest thing about this film, is the fact that Peter Pan actually has a relationship with Hulk. Like Peter Pan actually says that it's his fault. Oh, I'm actually the bad guy. Blame me. I'm the one who made you a villain. So I'm the true villain. Like really, like that is how you treat Pan? I'm sorry, but no, that is wrong. I mean, that is not Peter Pan. Peter Pan wouldn't show sympathy to Hulk and admit that it's all his fault. He made Hulk mad. Also, is that the best motivation you can come up with? Yeah, yeah. And also, yeah, but no one else cared about Hulk. Peter Pan cared about Hulk, but then Tinkerbell's like, oh, who cares? So just make Hulk fall down, and yeah, Wendy and Tinkerbell were the ones who defeated Hulk, and then Peter Pan mourns for Hulk. Yeah, and then at the end of the movie, Peter Pan just comes in, and Peter Pan just comes in and like, hey Hulk, let's be friends. Yeah, and Hulk is still alive, unsurprisingly. Ugh. Yeah, I'm done talking about this movie. I had enough. Yeah, like, wow. So yeah, Peter Pan, Wendy, is just probably my top five worst movies of all time list, or top 10 maybe. I'm not sure if it's top five worthy, but I have to think about it. Yeah, Peter Pan, Wendy is easily the worst movie of 2023 so far. People say Ghosted is the worst movie of the year. Have you seen Peter Pan and Wendy? I guarantee you, yeah. And I will never understand I don't see what people like about this movie. Yeah, just because it's directed by David Lowery doesn't mean it's good. Yeah, so yeah, yeah, this is the worst Peter Pan movie and the worst Disney live action remake. Give me Pinocchio, Mulan, Lion King, Alice Duology, like of those any day over Peter Pan and Wendy. So with that said, I'm gonna give Peter Pan and Wendy a 1 out of 10. Whew, finally. Okay, well, that's all for my random Peter Pan and Wendy. What is your opinion on this movie? Do you think that this movie was surprisingly decent, or do you agree with me that this movie sucks and it's the worst Disney live action remake ever? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for a review of the much of a much better movie. It's most likely gonna be a positive review, and that's gonna be for Renfield. The one with Nicolas Cage's Dracula. So yeah, bye guys.